Good evening. Welcome to this Extreme Weather Videos live stream this evening. My name is Joseph Pisani. I am the meteorologist here at Extreme Weather Videos and wanted to give you guys just an update, kind of talk a little bit more about Hurricane Helene, what we've seen, kind of where some things are at, and also take a look at a little bit more into the tropics. I know we did a live stream yesterday, so we'll be talking about that as well. But before we get any further into the video, be sure to do me a favor, hit that like, share, and subscribe button for more amazing weather content here at Extreme Weather Videos. That just kind of helps us get our name out there and lets people know that what we have here is definitely worth listening to. So thank you so much for doing that. Thank you to all of our subscribers. We're approaching the 500 subscriber mark here at Extreme Weather Videos, which is pretty amazing. I think we'll also probably be doing another live stream later this week, kind of talking about our chase of Hurricane Helene. Probably be bringing my wife on as a guest onto that live stream because it was actually her first hurricane chase, so I'm really excited to kind of get to talk with her maybe about what her experience was like doing that hurricane chase down in South Georgia. Kind of ended up, obviously, as we all know, Helene kind of shifted off further to the east than was forecasted. So where we were at didn't get quite as big of the impacts as I thought we would, but definitely still was a memorable experience. We'll definitely say that. But so we'll have to kind of take a look into doing that maybe sometime later this week or this weekend, and get to talk about all of that. But we still have quite a bit that I do want to talk about tonight. I think what I'm going to first do on this live stream, though, I kind of just want to quickly recap what I've at least seen so far with Hurricane Helene, as far as some of the aftermath and cleanup and different things like that. So sadly, we do know that the death toll has now passed the 50 mark, which is just devastating across Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, all of those regions. Just absolutely, unbelievable, the extent of the devastation. This has impacted so many different people all across the Southeast. And really, in a sense, it's impacted people that, maybe weren't really expecting there to be that great of an impact in their region. So definitely, again, our hearts go out to all of those folks. But with that being said, I mean, this is now, we're coming here into day 3 of the aftermath and cleanup, and we are just still seeing tremendous amounts of power outages still across the Southeast. Take a look at this map here. This is from So here we go. Sorry about that. So this is the power outage map here in Florida. So we can see some of these counties in red where we are seeing some tremendous, like for example, Taylor County here, 13,982 tracks, and we're currently sitting at 12,637 outages there. So, I mean, that's roughly, close, not 100%, but very close to that. Also up here, Madison County, I mean, 9,700 out of 11,500. So, I mean, absolutely huge numbers here in some of these counties, large percentages of the county here in Florida. And that's not the only state that has been impacted. Let's come back here and take a look at Georgia, because I mean, Georgia still, huge portions of eastern Georgia are still without power. I mean, here in Columbia County, I mean, 67,000 outages out of 70,000 that are tracked here. So absolutely some massive numbers. I mean, pretty much all of Jefferson County in Georgia is still without power. Basically all of this county here, except for 10 customers, are without power. Obviously, these are some more rural areas that you can see in Georgia. But even, for example, like Lowndes County, that's where Valdosta is, 50,000 outages out of 58,000. So still seeing very widespread outages here in the state of Georgia. Just under 5 million tracked and still over 500,000. And this is as of just about 10 minutes ago, 9:27 p.m. earlier. Let's come up here and take a look at South Carolina. Again, nearly almost 800,000 people still without power here in South Carolina. 166 out of 175,000 just in Spartanburg County alone. So absolutely mass power outages here. Still, Greenville County, over 200,000 people in Greenville County still without power. So obviously we can see some of these harder hit counties. Greenwood County, almost the entire county. Things are improving though in some of these other counties that are more in the outskirts. So hopefully we'll start seeing these numbers come down in the coming days. But again, it is going to be a long road ahead until, I mean, I've seen reports where we've got folks literally coming all the way from, New England states coming down here to the southeast to help with the cleanup, to help with the power restoration, to help with getting food and water in. I mean, some of these places are so rural and remote that getting just into those regions is definitely going to be a challenge. So still a long weeks and months and years of recovery ahead for these regions across the southeast. Let's look here at North Carolina. So North Carolina, obviously here, Henderson County, pretty much again, the entire county still without power here on this Sunday evening. 69,195 customers there without any form of power. Transylvania County, just over 19,000. Haywood County, numbers getting a little bit better, 15,000. This county here, still 98,000 people there in Buncombe County there of North Carolina. Madison County, 6,000. Yancey County, really a ton there in Yancey County, 11,900 of 14,000. So you can see here these numbers just still absolutely astronomical in some places. And, it's going to be a while for some of these places to really start to see some of these effects. Tennessee starting to get a little bit better, which is the good news. Starting to see some of the recovery there. But again, really it was Western North Carolina. Even Virginia, though, a lot of people didn't really talk about Virginia, but they had some huge impacts here. I mean, pretty much all of Grayson County here in Southern Virginia is out of power at 10,448. So just unbelievable. So it's going to be a long road ahead, folks. It is going to be a long road ahead. And unfortunately, we still have some things that we need to talk about tropics-wise. because we are still kind of in the peak of the hurricane season, or just coming out of the peak of the hurricane season. And we'll actually see, typically, we'll see a second peak of the Atlantic hurricane season in October. So let's kind of take a look here at what we're talking about for the tropical Atlantic. And you can see a lot of areas here on this map. So definitely quite a bit that we're seeing here on the map. So we've got Tropical Storm Isaac that is moving out. Tropical Storm Joyce, again, going to stay out to sea. This is a new tropical depression that formed earlier this evening. This is Tropical Depression 12. We're expecting it to follow a similar path to Joyce. And then we also have these two other areas. Now, these two areas are what I want to focus on here this evening. So there's been a lot of talk about this area here that is in the Caribbean that you may have seen on social media saying, you know, this is going to be the next big thing. Could it be something? Yes, it could be. National Hurricane Center giving it a 50% chance of formation over the next 7 days, near 0% chance over the next 2 days. Now, what I want to point out here is that every day is different, and we've seen some of the computer models have been kind of trending a little bit more uncertain with this area here in the Caribbean Sea. So this is a wide view here that you see of the Atlantic Ocean. So over here, here's Isaac. Here is Joyce. Here's the new tropical depression. And then we have this area, disturbed weather, kind of behind that we're monitoring. And then just this disorganized areas. There's not even a low at all in the Caribbean at this time. So definitely, let's just kind of see what happens here. And this will hopefully give you an idea. We'll kind of go through a couple of these different models. So this is the American model. Then we'll take a look at the global European model and some of those different things. So they're just kind of stepping forward through time. So this is tomorrow. This is Monday. Still seeing that area of disorganized showers. Joyce is dissipating. Isaac's dissipating. This area here, Tropical Depression 12, I think this will actually become Kirk probably by Monday or Tuesday. As you can see, it kind of develops here and does become, looks like at least a tropical storm, maybe by Monday night into Tuesday morning. And that moves. And then it's not until Wednesday here in the Caribbean Sea that we see at least a hint that there could be some sort of low pressure center to develop. Again, still a very weak signal through Tuesday into Wednesday. Here is what will likely be Kirk. Again, not expecting a whole lot out of Kirk. I think it's going to follow a similar track to what we saw with Joyce staying out to sea. But what does have my attention, in addition to this area in the Caribbean Sea, is the area here behind Kirk that right now the National Hurricane Center is giving that 50% chance of development over the next 7 days. Let's continue moving forward through time. So you can see here we have two different areas. Kirk is expected to become a major hurricane, and I do want to show this to you. So we can see here by Friday, 2 p.m. Friday, it is expected to become that major hurricane, and that is kind of lining up here going into Thursday. So this is Thursday morning. It does become that major hurricane on Friday. So really strong hurricane. And then here behind it, we have that other system, which may become a named system. And this is what I wanted to show you too. Let's look over here. What's going on in the Gulf of Mexico? Well, just 24 hours ago, this area, the GFS, was showing us a much stronger system coming into the Gulf of Mexico on Friday. But now we might have a tropical depression, maybe kind of coming into the Gulf of Mexico. So that just goes to show you, you can't really jump the gun on these things because these computer models, they change day to day. So by Friday, there might be something in the Gulf of Mexico, might not. You know, it kind of, the low literally just kind of is there, it's not there, and then it's there. And then it has something maybe hitting the west coast of Florida on Saturday. But look at Kirk here. Absolutely a beast of a hurricane out here in the Atlantic. And then our next system behind that, which I believe would be, uh, what's the L storm? I can't remember. Leslie, something like that. But needless to say, we've got the potential for something across Florida this weekend. Yes, that's still there, but the signal for it is looking less. But what I'm keeping an eye on is the system that will be behind Kirk. Because look what happens here. So there's Kirk. Here's this system, and that kind of goes off to sea. This would be whatever possibly impacts Florida, and we can just kind of continue going through, and then things kind of quiet down for a little bit. So that's the GFS. Again, there are multiple models here, folks. That is just one of them. Let's go to the European model and kind of run through the same thing real quick. I'm not going to go as slow because now we kind of know our different areas. So let's jump ahead. This is Thursday, and here's Friday. So on the European model, we're not even seeing really anything in the Gulf of Mexico, an area of showers and thunderstorms. Here's Kirk. Here's that next system, which the European is kind of interesting on that. It continues to just slowly migrate that system westward. And on Monday, there may be something in the Gulf of Mexico trying to do something. But look what happens here. This is by Tuesday, October 8th. That system is now approaching the Windward Islands. So that may be something to watch. And we have a new wave coming off of the coast of Africa. So this system here might be our first transatlantic storm, I would say, that we might see. So definitely something we're gonna have to keep our eye on in the next week. I'm still keeping an eye on the systems in the Gulf of Mexico, but again, what I'm really seeing with the Gulf of Mexico potential is that zonal flow where I'm just not seeing a strong signal of anything significant developing in the Gulf of Mexico, even when looking at some of the different ensembles and different things like that. So is there a potential of something? Yes, but the probability of it definitely seems to be decreasing. And the reason for that is obviously we just had Helene kind of go through there, so that kind of cooled off the waters. We have that stationary front that's kind of draped across Florida, which could lead to some sort of CAG development, but we're not seeing that today. That could change tomorrow, so we'll really just kind of have to wait and see what happens with any potential tropical development in the Gulf by the end of this week. So definitely stay with us here at Extreme Weather Videos. We'll keep you guys updated. Also, if you're not following us on our Facebook page, go to facebook.com/Extreme Weather Videos. I'll be sure to drop a link in the description of the video later this evening, so you can check that out. Give us a like on there because we post a lot of updates on there. Also, I think hopefully later this week, one thing that I'm looking at doing is obviously myself and my wife, we did chase Hurricane Helene. If you haven't seen that video, be sure to check out this video of our chase that we did. I'll link it in the description. It was all right. We went down to Tifton, Georgia. Obviously, the track shifted east, so we didn't get as big of impacts from Helene as we were initially expecting there in southern Georgia. Valdosta obviously got it much worse than we did where we were at. And then we obviously went up through the Carolinas. But still, I think it would be great to have Candace come on and just kind of get to talk with us about what her experience was like with her first hurricane chase here with Extreme Weather Videos. So, but looking forward to that as well. All in all, though, other than that, for this weather briefing, we are expecting fairly quiet weather conditions across much of the United States. No severe weather right now is expected through the next 7 days. So with that zonal flow that we were talking about here, to see some of those fall-like temperatures make their way across much of the country. So hopefully it'll be good weather, especially for some of these regions that are going to be dealing with a lot of the cleanup there into the Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida, even up into Virginia. So hopefully those folks will have good weather for dealing with all of that. But be sure to give us a subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. Thank you so much for joining me this evening for this discussion and look into the tropics for the next week. We'll be back before you know it. Until then, have a great evening, everyone, and we'll see you next time.